Hey, this is the James DiPrima Show exclusive. I'm taking a break. Yeah, there's only gonna be 6 episodes for each season, so, but although this is an exclusive though, I'm happy that the Confederate flag is coming down. In South Carolina, it should not be up. It is an illegal flag. It is a racist flag. It does support oppression, slavery, and so forth. Do I think it should be put in a museum? Of course, it's a part of American history. It's definitely a part of American history that nobody likes, including Southerners who aren't racist. And I put aren't in all caps and under a lot of lines. Sure, it does represent a time in this country's past where it was not pretty. Of course, I'm talking about the Civil War, which brought out the worst for both sides. Now, slavery was the main cause of the Civil War. Lincoln and Northerners as well. There was racism in the North just as much as there was the South. But not as much in the North as there was in the South. There was a lot of racism in the South, and there was a lot of racism, but not as much in the North. But although Lincoln ended racism, he still did not see black people as full, complete human beings. Do you know black employees of the White House, butlers, maids, and so forth, did not get a financial raise until Reagan was president? Not even Kennedy, who was supposed to be the most non-prejudiced president, which he was non-prejudiced to a point, but he didn't even raise the payment of the black butlers and maids of the White House. No, it wasn't until Reagan that the payment was raised. So, with that being said, racism is generational. Like President Obama said, it's true. It's generational. Do I want to see racism eliminated? Certainly. Like any compassionate human being, I would love to see racism eliminated. But, is it going to happen overnight? No. Is it going to happen in the next 10 years? No. It has to be generational as well. To eliminate racism, it has to take generations upon generations upon generations of Americans, reasonable, compassionate Americans, to end it. It's not going to happen overnight, folks. I'm sorry if that burst your dream bubbles, but it's not going to happen overnight. It's certainly not going to happen by the end of this year. But yeah, the Civil War brought out the worst of both sides because the South wanted to fight to keep to keep slavery, to keep the oppressionist and racist South going, and keep continuing its own history to make its own country. But that didn't happen, obviously. Generally surrender to if it was personal jewelry, family heirlooms, cash at the time. And, I mean, carpetbagging was just as bad that the North did. It was just as bad. Now, like I said, I am happy that the Confederate flag is being taken down, but will the Confederate flag continue to be printed on belt buckles, shorts, license plates, bumper stickers, shirts? Certainly. It's going to be continuing to feed racist Americans. And you can tell they're racist if they have Confederate everything. Confederate wannabes. Certainly people in the North have them as well. But when people go to a Civil War reenactment and they have the American flag and the Confederate flag, at that point, people are wearing living history. What do I mean by that? I mean by that is, you have Americans, North and South, who want to see diversity, want to see acceptance of everybody, regardless of religion, race, and creed, who want to see that acceptance and or sexual orientation. They want to see that acceptance they want that acceptance to be legal in this country, and they want it to be not only just legal, but they want that acceptance to be recognized in this country. And you have a Confederate flag representing Northerners and Southerners who don't want to see gay marriage legal, who do not want to see black people working in the same places they do. There are racist Americans in the North and South, and then they are represented by the Confederate flag. And you have reasonable Americans who are not racist and who want to see diversity, who want to see the acceptance of other minorities and people of different sexual orientations and gender identities, and they're represented by the American flag. At that point, you're seeing a shirt that you're seeing living history as we speak. Although it's more of a distinction now that the South is still racist than the North is. Does this mean, though, that every Southerner is racist? No. Does this mean that people that have the Confederate flag in museums support racism? No. People that want... I really wish, though, the Confederate flag is put in a museum, because it does represent a time in Americans' history that people should know about, that how wrong it was, why there was slavery in this country. It should be in a museum truthfully. Do I think they should change the names of the Confederate soldiers in black neighborhoods, the street names? Certainly. It's racial wallpaper. It should not be accepted. But why am I going on and on why this country should change in a positive way? Because there's people out there who do support this flag being flown in South Carolina. And they support the slavery, they support the oppression, they support the suppression of black Americans. They support that. And they are horrible people. The people who stand up and say, the flag isn't racist. Yeah, it is. Do I think it should be taken down from the state capitol? Certainly. If people want to fly the flag in their own homes, let them. It helps us identify who the worst people in the world are. Do I think the Confederate flag that is going to be taken down from the South Carolina state capitol, do I think it should be put in a museum? Yes. Because it does represent a time in this country which was not pretty. But do I think Northerners should get on their high horses and say, oh, we were better than the Southerners during the Civil War. No, we weren't. Like I said in this video multiple times, the Civil War brought out the worst of both sides. Like I mentioned with the carpetbagging, the North, that was a shitty thing the Northerners did, was to carpetbag. The South, which was practically living in poverty, I know this video was going on and on, but it's important to raise awareness that racism is alive and well. And we are living that history still. Like I said, I would love for it to be eliminated, but it's going to take generations upon generations. But do I think this kid should be given a death sentence? No. I don't think anybody should be given a death sentence. I'm against the death penalty because it proves nothing. Killing someone for killing a group of people or someone is absurd and it's stupid. Was this a tragedy? Yes. Should we do something about his actions? Yes. Put him in prison for life. Do I think liberals should pussyfoot around racism? No. Do I think conservatives should bitch and complain why the Confederate flag represents South's integrity and respect? No, they shouldn't bitch it and complain about that because it does not represent respect and integrity. Quite the opposite. Do I think both sides have their bias right now? Yes. Do I think there are people like me who are saying, yes, the Confederate flag does represent hatred? Although, people in the North as well fly the Confederate flag as well. That does represent racism in the North as well. Not a lot of white people in the North fly the Confederate flag, but there's people who do fly the Confederate flag. So I'm in the middle of this. I think it's great that it's being taken down, but I also think the flag should be in the museum where it belongs. See you guys.